Well, he's looking around for the ball, I think. I can only assume that he just lost sight of the ball there.
15-30.
Yeah, straight through, perhaps.
Well, this is extraordinary because that's exactly what happened to him in Australia when he was playing Thomas Muster. Made him famous in Melbourne for the air shot. He's done it again. Hardly credible.
Well, this is just a perfect return of serve cross court.
15-40.
And taking advantage of that lapse by Knipskild, who was presumably still thinking about his awful air shot. Now, a real chance to get right back in the match. 2 break points.
$30-40. Just
Right in the corner, I can see the mark. Did Henman think that was a fault? Surely not.
advantage, Lipschu.
Yes, well played.
Game Lipschu. He leads by 3 games to 1.
So an exact reversal of what happened in the first set when this man was broken in the third game of the match. This time it's Henman broken in the third game of the set, trailing 1-3. Oh, yes, it was good. There's that backhand again.
Law 15.
It's a very well-produced shot, actually. Let's watch his footwork and how he gets down to the ball. You see he's right down there. See the right knee dipping. He's living with that ball as he hits it.
Law 30.
Well, it's all this business about being short of match play. When you start thinking about what you're doing instead of just reacting instinctively. Until you can operate on the instinctive level, you're lost.
Out. 15-30. $15-40.
Serious problems here then. A couple of double faults has given the German 2 break points.
$30-40.
played.
Well, it was well played eventually. Yes,
Just-
that's a good backhand volley, but this is much too short by Knipschild, and that gave Henman the chance to tuck it away. Lucky that wasn't a good lob. Henman was. Oh, what a point. This was reminiscent of a point he played against Kafelnikov at
Advantage,
Wimbledon first
Henman.
round last year. Diving for a brilliant cut-off volley. I really thought he was gone then.
Clever.
Game Henman. Knipschild leads by 3 games to 2.
Well, sometimes it is the spice of danger that brings out the best.
Certainly did in the match I was mentioning, didn't it, where he was down in the first round at Wimbledon. But yes, it absolutely did. That was Henman at his very best. Yes, please. And in that whole game, he pulled himself back from the situation of 2 break points down with a really very good display of volleys. That stretches him wide, but he absolutely played the right shot, unexpected by the German player, who didn't really think he could get his wrist round, perhaps, in time. Of course, had Henman lost that game, one of those 2 break points, I really think that was the downward path accelerating. But he played very, very well. It might have produced a situation in his mind, John, where he now thinks he can win this match.
Well, he's got to think positively, but more importantly, he's got to play positively. And at times he's playing too positively, by which I mean he's overplaying the ball, trying to go for too much. And it's a very fine line to tread. You've got to be positive, you've got to go for your shots, but you mustn't overplay. And that's not an easy thing to achieve, particularly against a man whose powerful serve has been doing all sorts of damage. So still with the break in hand, Knipschild at 3-2, second set.
Loss of 15.
Well, there's exactly what I mean. Playing within yourself, a very positive reply, but not overhitting it.
All.
Well, he's a big chap, the German, and he's steaming in there, and he just can't stop. That's not very instinctive footwork by him. He just couldn't stop and go sideways in time.
All.
So the aces count mounts, 6 now.
First serve. First serve.
Well, I think he was a little unlucky in my book. That looked pretty good. What a lovely rally by the German.
Well, he struck the ball well throughout, didn't he? We were suggesting earlier that perhaps that forehand was a little more suspect, but it's come good during the match. Here's a point for 4-2.
Net seconds.
Oh, it was there for the
Game
taking.
Mitchell. He leads by 4 games to 2.
Well, Henman really can only blame himself. He was perfectly placed, in perfect position. Two four.
Law 15. $15 all. $30-15. $40-15.
Holds it back nicely here, Henman, waiting for his opponent to commit himself.
Game Henman. Mitchell leads by 4 games to 3.
Did what he had to do, Henman. A convincing service game to keep the pressure on Knipschiel, but he seems to be playing with such confidence now. I don't think he's going to feel much pressure.
No, well, the German, I'm just wondering whether within sight of victory, which he is really, is a set and a break up, and getting towards the end of the second set, some players just get frightened at the opportunities ahead of them. I mean, he's playing for a place in the quarter-final. He's got no experience on grass. He's playing a high seed, 4th seed in Henman. Would mean an awful lot to him, his bank balance and his computer rankings and his career. And some players, with all that ahead of them, get too frightened to win. It doesn't look to me as though this guy is one of them.
Quite right about the bank balance. The loser today will take home $9,500. That's about £5,700. But the winner will win at least £9,700. Of course, the winner on Sunday